Tonight, concerns in Akron as the grand jury considers charges against police in the deadly shooting of Jayland Walker.
Around 9 o'clock tonight, Akron's police chief released a new statement on the issue.
While we cannot know what the grand jury will decide, the Akron Police Department will be prepared in the event protests occur in the city.
Again, the grand jury got the case this morning, and already there are demonstrations in Akron demanding justice for Jayland. Our Lydia Esparra has the story.
An unknown group of protesters took to the streets as Akron City Council met inside. The protesters were surrounded by heavy fencing, concrete barriers, and businesses who started boarding up. All this as the grand jury convenes for Jayland Walker. Jayland Walker was shot and killed by Akron Police. On Monday, a grand jury was seated and are now deciding whether or not the 8 officers who fired on the unarmed black man are responsible for his death. Walker's body was riddled with 46 shots after a car and foot chase. Back in June, protests in the city of Akron began quickly. Ed Sutter is making preparations just in case.
When it comes to safety, that's a whole different story, and we'll have to approach, the coming weeks, or next week, this week, next week.
The chief of police told me he's partially responsible for the barricades. It's not that he is expecting trouble. He says we would be negligent not to make preparations after what happened last year. Through their attorney, Walker's family released this statement. Today, the family of Jayland Walker urges you to be mindful of how important it is that in America, everyone has equal access to justice and a fair process. They are not advocating for anything else but that. So as the grand jury discerns its decision,
we really need to pray for the people that are making these decisions. These are really big decisions. I certainly wouldn't want to be in their shoes.
It was a small protest outside of City Hall, and the protesters know that the grand jury just began convening today, but it could take several weeks before a decision is made. In Akron, Lydia Esparra, 3 News.